Hello, everybody. This is Katarina with Truth Talks TV because the truth is sexy and getting naked is fun. And today I want to talk a little bit about intuition. This is a big topic that I think there can be a lot said about this. But to answer the question in the title, is following your intuition always easy? The short answer is no, of course it's not. It's like a muscle that needs to be trained. You know, the more you test out, try out, follow your intuition, the stronger that feeling gets, the more the more comfortable and aware of that feeling you become. But why am I talking about this today? Well, I had a friend recently, like a high school friend who I haven't even been in touch with probably since high school, message me on Facebook regarding a video that I did not too long ago regarding why I moved to Belgrade from Chicago. And he was, he shared some encouraging words and said he thinks that's great that I did that. And then he added, "You make it sound so easy," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, okay, let me clarify then," because I know also from experience that I also observe, and observe other people maybe online and, that are in my awareness or experience. And I'm very tempted, to think the same thing, like, oh, it just looks so easy for them. They're just living their dreams. They're just following their intuition, all this stuff. So I want to tell you that that's not the case. It hasn't always been easy. It isn't always easy. So specifically regarding my move from Chicago to Belgrade, you'll have to watch that video maybe to get some more information or background information. The link is included below this video. But I did have this deep knowing that I would be moving, but my initial step was like, okay, I'm just gonna go for about 2 months because I went in November of 2009 and I wanted to stay through the Christmas holiday, which Christmas in Serbia is January 7th. So I knew I would be staying at least till then. I also really felt at that time to just buy a one-way ticket because I didn't know. And I was trying to think of, how long do I want to stay? How long am I going to stay? At first it felt like maybe 6 months. And then I was like, I don't know, like it was very unclear to me. Like I did not have like a specific, oh, I want to stay this long. So again, the deeper feeling beneath all that was, I think I'm going to be staying. But, the different layers I had to move through in order to actually really, really acknowledge that and accept that. So it felt good at the time just to buy a one-way ticket and to say I would at least stay through the Christmas holiday. And so all that time until the Christmas holiday, that was, it was very light for me. I didn't feel like I was really necessarily making a commitment. It was just like, okay, I'm staying through Christmas and then we'll see. And so that first, 2 months or so, a month and a half, 2 months, it was just like I was exploring the city, just enjoying it, having fun. Christmas came and went, and I still felt, wow, there's nothing pulling me to go back to Chicago. Now, this is when it got hard because now it's like, okay, holy shit, I'm really staying. What am I doing? Why am I staying here? I had none of those answers. I didn't know the answers to those questions, but just the deep knowing was that I need to stay. And I'm very, very close to my mom, my brother. He has 3 children. And, so there was a period of when I realized I was staying, just kind of like this period of detachment, not, of course, like I'm detaching from them in my relationship, but just this period of like something that you're so used to and has become such a comfort for you and such a, safe, secure place. Now you're sort of, coming into this unknown, uncertain weebly wobbly, territory where it's like, whoa, I'm so used to them in my life, and this is my little pod, and now I'm like just kind of on my own. And so, anyways, there was that initial like couple months when I realized I would be staying was extremely difficult. I was crying regularly, just doing lots of cleansing and healing and releasing of things and releasing of who I was. And I remember even, it's kind of funny, it was like I remember at that time, for the first few months, I stayed with my aunt. And um, so I had a lot, and I wasn't working, I wasn't really doing anything. So I had a lot of, free time, and I was watching TV, or I was, listening to things, reading things, whatever. But I remember watching this movie about Moses and the Israelites and the 40 years in the desert and all this. And there was just this like really clear message there for me when I watched this movie about how they couldn't go backwards. They couldn't go back, even though many of them were just like, this is crazy, this is hard, what are we doing? Like, it was actually good there, even though they were slaves back, where they were back in Egypt. They were slaves, and they were moving on to the promised land, but they were 40 years in the wilderness, and it was very challenging. So many of them thought, what are we doing? We should just go back to Egypt, it was better there. And there was something said, or just a message that was expressed in this movie, that I was like, that's a message for me. Like, yes, what I'm doing right now, living in Belgrade and not knowing what the heck I'm doing, it seems crazy. It looks like the wilderness. Like, what the heck am I doing? Back there was way better, but I knew and I felt that it would just be going backwards. It would be literally going backwards for me, even though it was good. There was nothing wrong with that. So that's just one little story about that, I think, and I'm sure I can't remember all of it, but I'm sure that there were many other messages and messages that I was given and things that I felt through that time that kept me staying in Belgrade and not going back. And obviously just the deep inner knowing that I needed to stay, I wanted to stay. This was like a call. So no, following your intuition is not easy. It does not mean like, oh, if I follow my intuition, it's going to, or follow my heart, it's going to now look a certain way. And if it looks, or if it gets hard, oh, that must not be my intuition. No, that's not the case at all. It's not about like whether it looks easy or hard, whether it's challenging or smooth or anything like that. It's just this deeper inner knowing that we need to listen to, tap into, and again exercise. Through exercising it will get stronger and more clear for us in our journey and throughout our lives. So I think the most important thing is, again, without getting into how to actually even feel our intuition, but let's say you do feel it on some level, you feel something. The most important thing is then to commit to it, and meaning deciding, choosing, okay, I'm doing this, I'm going to Belgrade. And then take whatever step you feel aligned with, that you feel peace about, that you feel clear about right now. And then the next steps will unfold. Don't worry about all the other steps. Just commit. So first feel that intuition, commit to it, and take the first step that you know to do right now. That's how the whole thing evolved for me as well. Like, even just the whole process of coming to Belgrade, there was all kinds of, there was just things that I just kept on feeling, just like step by step. Okay, I need to buy a plane ticket. Okay, started doing the research. How long am I going to stay? Like I already mentioned, I don't know. I don't feel a clear, definitive end point or return point. So, let me see what it would be like to buy a one-way ticket. Ooh, look, a one-way ticket is half the price of a round trip. Sometimes they're not, but at that time it was. I was like, okay, great, I'll just buy a one-way since I don't know how long I'm going to stay. So it was just taking those steps that I felt prompted to take in the moment. So that's what I would say about that. Definitely know that it is not necessarily easy, but it's so worth it to be aligned with, to follow your heart, your intuition, no matter how crazy or how difficult or how challenging it can be. It is so, so worth it. So that is all for now. If you'd like to, I'm open to, if you want to contact me and want some assistance or guidance into tapping into your own intuition and feeling into it, I would be more than happy to do that. You can contact me on my website, www.katarinaillich.com. There is a contact link, and we can go from there and feel out what works for us. And otherwise, I will be chatting with you again soon. Ciao.